What the fuck?
Uh,
We're back.
yeah, and you're enormous, and we're live.
Right on. I don't know what
At least
happened
I
with
think
the
so.
North Korean fucking internet, dude.
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Did I sit down wrong or some shit? Because like right when I sat down, the whole thing went down.
Uh, are we here? Are we here? We're here on YouTube, not on Twitch just yet.
Let me see
Uh,
the settings. So we're like in freaking. I'm 144 pixel resolution of my YouTube. There we go.
ta, ta, ta,
All
ta.
right. Well, there you go. When you have a live show, sometimes shit goes off the rails. We had a clean streak for what? At least
Yeah,
on
and you
the
moved your.
safety calendar, we have to put a 0 days from incident now. So, and it's been how long since the shit went down?
Yeah, and you're in
Oh
a
yeah, and my
bathtub.
mic is over here. Yeah, bro.
Oh, bloody hell, that was awful.
So, what a rough start, bro.
Yeah,
Fucking
I'll probably
Sunday.
re-upload this at some point or other.
But so yeah,
Welcome, whoever is still with us.
we have 13 watching now. Right on. Some people should join back. I think most of us that are here usually or regularly will always chime back in. It's
Welcome,
not as long of a downage as we had when Henrik had to bail you out when your computer went totally like your board went tits up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. It just went from normal upload speeds to half, to quarter, to half of that, and then gone.
Interesting.
Weird.
Somebody's not happy with us anymore.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to back again to BeoTalk 177. I started running around to check everything, so I'm in a fucking sweat now. God damn it.
But that's weird. That's well, it's not the first time, but it's just definitely like really at noon. Like it was exactly almost at noon. I think it was like 2 minutes after because we didn't really get into the uh, intro much, and then all of a sudden just went black screen. There we go. We're back to like 25 viewers. People are back. Everybody went, took a piss, and came back, and it's good now.
Yay! Don't forget to leave a like for this shit show.
Jesus Christ, we earn it today, man.
Obviously, as soon as you press go on everything and it goes the whole way, and then it's like, no, we've had enough. We're not doing this.
Oh, but
Ah,
we're
bloody
here.
hell.
We're here.
As per usual, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that jazz. Also, leaving a like is free and it helps out a really big deal on the YouTube algorithm. Also, leaving comments and that sort of thing. If anybody's actually in the chat, let us know if we're good on YouTube. It seems okay.
Yeah. And if the screen go black, we'll be back.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
That's it.
Evening, Kevin. Evening, Michael. Evening, Don. Bloody hell! This
Throws a curveball into like everything, essentially.
yeah. Plus, I also don't exactly know what to do with YouTube and Twitch because they don't what you call it, like it when you end a stream and restart like that. So and since the software for streaming then goes into a sort of loop of like have to reconnect,
Mm.
but then the longer it can't, the longer it takes before it tries again.
Yeah, but this was momentary though.
Sure, but it says we'll try again in 10 seconds. Then it says we'll try again in 30 seconds. Then it says we'll try again in a minute. And
Then
on the
two
Twitch
minutes.
side, it said we'll try again in 5 minutes. It's like, God damn it.
But everybody seems, yeah, it seems to go well now. Michael Freeland says so. We're good. We are good.
Dare I refresh this stream because I'm getting none of the chats through on my side.
Do
Ah,
it.
we're there.
Fuck's
Hello.
sake. So,
Bloody hell. Well, I named this where we try to help you guys with your B&O issues, but it seems like I have internet issues that needed helping. But They're fixed.
Yeah, but that was more or less outside, not the inside problem, I
Yeah.
think. So there's not much you can do when they shut your fucking water off into your apartment. It's not like,
Well, you
you
can
can
pay the
fix it
bill, I guess.
you can't fix it internally. But we had a water out actually this week. It was really weird. 'Cause I forgot all about the email and I turn on the faucet and so it just goes I'm like, oh fuck. That sucks. So
Yeah. By the way, I had
a topic?
yeah, but also
Sweet.
here.
People are stingy in the chat with topics, so
Yeah. Well, as for the chat, if you have any B&O related questions and/or topics and/or shit you need solving, please let us know. Because all of a sudden, was it Monday? We had a bunch of questions about a bunch of stuff that we normally don't get. Maybe it's on the Sunday, but because it was Monday, maybe we got it. And so I thought might as well lay it open to everybody, and maybe we can help you guys solve your shit.
yeah, we're here to help, sure.
I'm calming down. I'm like, get it.
Turn on the fan. So what's the topic that you had, or what were you gonna say?
Oh, DJ Neo says my BeoLab A2000 doesn't turn off. That's
Is it in a line input?
because if so, that means there's a signal on the line.
Or a buzz?
Yeah.
So if it's in the line input mode, then yeah, then that's the only way that I can see that. And yeah, you have RCA buzzing into it.
And if it's on PowerLink, then either it's the same issue, bad cable, or there's something going wrong
on both, then
on
it's
the
your
board.
amp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your amp.
And I would have that checked out sooner rather than later. Because
then it'll just turn on and it won't play nothing anymore.
Yes.
Maybe that's what you probably have for an issue already.
The
yeah.
longer you wait, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's the board. It could be a short on the input board, which is very simple, or it could be something a little more serious, which is on the actually amplifier board. So those two things but I would definitely get it checked out before it's too late. Because it will get late, I'll tell you.
Oh, you bought it to repair? Well, then you have a repair job to do. Most likely this is on a circuit board somewhere, so it's probably not the most...
I wonder if you can get PCB boards. Like, I never really fucked around with, soldering and desoldering components off of B&O. That was more or less something that I would send out to my tech that does it. And this way it makes both of us money, because it takes me a while to do it. Like, fucked around all Friday, made 5 cables. I made custom trigger cables with an RCA jack to a RJ45 power link with a trigger out from the RJ45 cables. So it takes a while.
I have giveaway. Since B&O is doing this 25k run stuff, and
I like that a lot.
I hate running. This is the first of 4, and this is a medium. So if you're a medium type dude, tell us something. So
small in North America, guys, because the Europeans have fucked up sizing. I tell you what, you're gonna get this in medium size for a North American dude. He's gonna look like a gay guy with a tank top.
Well, if you are such a person, then that's fine, and then this is the shirt for you.
Like, I love the logos, but yeah, the medium, I don't think that would cover all my COVID belly. There's no way.
B&O's got their their seasons mixed up, which is kind of funny.
Is there any other colors, or they're all yellow?
No, I have 2 blue and 1 black, but they're different sizes.
Nice.
So email me at mickeypd4@gmail.com, and I don't have an XSL. That's why I'm saying this is a medium. This is week 1. Send us something in the email, Something fun.
Essentially, what this is, you can have it for your children because that's what it will fit.
Send us a nice anecdote. How did you get to know about us? How many have you shared it with? How did you like B&O? Show us a picture of your B&O. Something out of left field, like a poem. It's all good. As long as it's fun, and then I'll get back to you next week who has won it. And then next week we'll have, let's see. Next week we'll have an L. And the week after we'll have an XL.
And then the fourth one will be what? Triple XL? Fucking flag?
No, another L.
Right on.
So B&O thinks that only normal people size buy B&O, apparently. Or maybe it's a hint, like we want you to become an L or an M again.
Be an M again. Fuck.
Yeah.
Nah. I think that yeah.
So email me with whatever you like, B&O related, non-B&O related, show related, and like I said, I can send you a t-shirt. I obviously need to know your address, so if you're saying like, oh no, my privacy, then you're fucked. But it is a running.
I like
shirt.
it.
And
I like it. Music gets you there.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So that's something I have for people to win. It's an M, just to be sure. Next week will be an L. The week after that an XL, and then the week after that another L. This one is yellow. The other ones, it's these for some reason are in like shitty plastic, so it makes a lot of noise. So I really don't want to handle it too much. Because...
Oh yeah, oh I love it. So good when you have headphones on.
Yeah, it's great.
So
do with that as you will, and we'll have a winner next week. Yeah, that's about it. Bio Brandon says Christmas in October. No, we had half Christmas or half Santa with Prestige Creators earlier in the year. And I know something about stealing the vote because Brendan got all like, oh, I got outvoted.
Oh, but that was really fucked up though, how that all went. That was total Biden election right there, dude. That was not fun. That just went sideways, off the rails, down the hill, whatever, all the ways.
Anyway, I can't help it. I don't have any auditing powers. Sorry.
That's it. That was funny though.
But in response to the title for tonight, I got a question from Mark, and he basically says, "Hey guys, I saw the question or the topic of the B&O show today. I don't know if it's a good question. I think it is. You guys have a lot of B&O products, and how does your day-to-day look with B&O? How do you interface with it? Like, which products do you use the most, and how do you control it? Do you do voice or Halo, Be a Remote One? And which of your products do you actually almost never use?"
I go first?
Yeah, well, you can. I can go first too, if you like. It doesn't matter to me.
Go ahead.
One thing that drops off for me is voice. I never ever use voice, and that's probably one of the first things you do.
I do a lot of mixed control.
I said do.
Duty. I do mixed controls. Yeah. What's your most used product in the house? TV.
Yes, and all the speakers on it.
Because for me, it's also a TV, but it's a V1 in the kitchen. Because I do a lot of shit in the kitchen, and I just don't care to fire up the 90s and all that shit till I actually, like, when I watch purposely something or listen to music and whatever, And lately, like the fucking Karen situation here, so I'm not really firing them up at all. I don't want to deal with shit anymore. And my least used product would be BeoSound 1 in the bathroom. Or actually, no, M3, because that's the other bathroom, like the shower. So it's used only once a day, but the one in the BeoSound one in the other bathroom is actually used more, because it's usually a part of a macro that everything turns on. But I usually keep that one playing. And yeah, I use voice to turn on the TV and BeoRemote 1 to navigate to YouTube, basically. And same thing is for when I'm going to bed, I guess, or where I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like all those generic macros and shit, like tell the TV to move out of the way for the balcony. All of that is done via voice, but it's also reason for it is if you can trigger a macro from a gateway, like to move the stand when the TV is in a standby, but you are unable to do it with the remote control. So that is why I talk to shit around the house a lot.
So to me, it depends a bit on the day, and since my girlfriend works from home, how loud I can be and what she's doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also depends on what I'm doing. So if I don't know, recently I've been like reorganizing the balcony a bit, and then I take my E8 out,
Mm-hmm.
which are basically my daily drivers for most of the day, where I cannot be super loud, so to say.
Yeah.
Then as soon as she's off of work, then the main system comes on, and that's either BeoRemote 1, because that's usually somewhere like available, or the Halo lives on this
Little table.
Yeah.
Do the cats not fuck with it?
No. Don't care
Only
for
the
it.
BeoRemote 1?
Yes, but only when it's on that table.
The cats have got some weird ass OCD.
Yeah, if this is on the glass table and they can see through it, then it's fine. But if this is on the marble, then it needs to be on the floor.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah, it's it's bizarre. So it works out. Maybe the Halo is too heavy for them to just push off like that.
Or it's got a little more resistance to it as well. 'Cause it's got the rubber padding, right? Where that little thing just glides off shit.
So that's another thing. The stage and LG TV in the bedroom can use pretty much every day. As is, not as a music system, but literally as a TV soundbar. I mean,
What's the least used? Your M3?
No, my A1.
Oh, I guess we count that as a product too, right?
Like any of the portable stuff except for headphones. Like these I use every day. The portals I use every other day. I have a BeoSound 2 right like here for next to my screen, which is my computer speaker. But I rarely use that as an integrated speaker because it's in the same room as the 50s. So I kind of only use it as a computer speaker, and it's on line in and auto sense, so that works great, really.
Mm-hmm.
So my least used, yeah, the A1 definitely, but if it's one of the attached speakers, so to say, then the M3 lives in the bathroom, and it's off and on when you feel like turning it on, because half the time I feel like I'm thinking like, oh, what am I choosing to listen to? And this? No. And I could have showered in the meantime.
Well, you don't Netflix pick the shit. Just have a radio station. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but I rarely listen to radio anymore.
Sounds like a habit you need to pick up.
Yeah, I know.
And then go from there. I listen to radio predominantly if it goes over stream music, because I don't like. I'm so like done with catering to myself with playlists and shit that I'm I find more use with my time just consuming music from a radio station, where there I can. But God bless Deezer for having the Deezer search, where you can just basically, I guess the term Shazam it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it finds it, sometimes it don't. Shazam always finds it, but sometimes it doesn't let you play it in Deezer because they're not allowing you to play it in our countries, right? I don't know, like these old stupid disagreements that, like, that pisses me off, by the way, because I'm fucking paying for it. So either take it off, don't just gray it out. Like, this is bullshit. Don't gray it out. Take it the fuck off. Like, I don't want to see it at all. Like, just take it off.
Yeah.
Don't just gray out. I got a whole bunch of like Play, which is a Swedish band, I believe. PLEJ. Very, very good music. Like loungy, relaxing type, background deal. Either when you work or do some. Awesome for building Lego, by the way. And yeah, it's all grayed out. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, that's annoying. So yeah, in terms of use case, like this is the most predominant interface I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the app is useful every so often. The app is more of a thing to. Wait, sorry, I'm reading. Mr. Holzinger asks, "Is there a way to control BeoSound 2 with the Beo Remote 4?" No. Oh yeah, that's sorry. For some reason, I read it as a BeoSound 1.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
No, it's either app or get a new one. I would highly suggest get a Beo Remote 1 because you can put it into BeoSound 4 mode, and then you can do both with it.
Yeah, you can control audio video products easily and link products. There are limitations for that remote, especially with the replacement of the diamond with the P plus, P minus, and skip and back, because those are the old diamonds, so it makes the navigation a little more awkward when you're trying to use it on a BeoSystem 3 that does not support navigation button. It's very fucking weird.
Yeah,
and it's only like the last generation of the ones with the 3D 3D video board that had that forget what the P21 chip or whatever the heck it was called in the manual that did allow for Beo Remote 1 navigation control.
Yeah, IR and Bluetooth don't mix really unless you.
No.
I mean, that's the one thing where you kind of have to remember what mode you left it in. If I go for my BeoSound 9000, right, then you go TV. Like, why the fuck is the TV not go? Oh.
Well, see, but that's the difference. Depends on how many. Like, I use my remote because I only have one because I live by myself. So I use the remote in multiple rooms. Mm-hmm. So I start by picking the remote off the wall bracket, and like I press list before I pick it up, because then the list shows me what room I'm in. Because sometimes I'm I pass out to watching Avant with the 90s, like movies and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then you don't want to turn on TV and the fucking thing fires. I was like, no, I wanted the kitchen TV, right? So what I usually do, I just pick the thing up, press list, so I know which room I'm in, and now it's a little force of habit. But you can seamlessly switch between Bluetooth and IR products, which is unbelievable, I guess. So, like, all of my stuff is IR other than my bathrooms. But the benefit of having Bluetooth with the tune-in and shit, that your favorite stations are downloaded into the bloody remote control, so you can actually pick through whatever stations, actually not just numerically, but by name.
Yeah, and that's quite a nice feature instead of like having to sort of listen and wait for the first commercials what you're on.
Yeah, and I don't see, like, I use the shit that I listen to on TuneIn, there is no commercials whatsoever, other than the station self-announcements, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. The only one that does have commercials, which is annoying, is a Comedy Channel, Comedy 104 Topeka. That one is just terrible. But now they started to actually, like, I guess CRTC started mixing in Canadian commercials over top of that shit. So it's just these weird cutouts, just like you guys have when you watch Super Bowl or whatever, right? When they just, like, the screen would go black and shit.
Yeah, so, well, here, the only channel that carries it is BBC. And
Yeah.
then it just has people like commentating, and there's no commercials at all. It's just like, oh wow, it's like this is such a breath of fresh air. But you kind of do, especially with like the Super Bowl and stuff. You finally understand, like, Jesus, this game is long.
Which one?
Like
Football?
Super Bowl, yeah, football. It's like 4 hours to play an
I
hour
know.
of sport.
I watched 2 Titanic movies during that fucking thing, dude. I don't watch that, and it's so overloaded with commercials here. It's ridiculous. So, and I don't even have TV as TV cable TV goes. And
Yeah.
it's interesting that like now more and more of my clients are starting to realize that what the fuck am I doing paying all this money for the TV? And at the end of the day, they watch Netflix, right? So just cancel it. Like you don't what there is nothing good that comes out of the damn TV anymore, as far as the media is concerned. I'm sorry to say, but that's just, in my opinion, truth.
No, I fully agree.
It's a constant a fucking rolling belt feed of bad news coming your way.
Yeah,
They got
and
a wall bracket. Oh yeah, that's right. They have the wall bracket for the silly wedge, whatever it's called, emerge.
yeah. Michael Fearland asked, does anybody have experience with STB brackets? Yes, I do. They're great. They're
I've never had issue with STB brackets, dude, and they are BNO level grade. Like they actually get their shit anodized in factory 5, I believe, or whichever factory that they do the anodizing in BNO. Like Gavin has been around since the old Avant with the VCR, where they made a mount. That was the first thing that they ever made. They made a mount for a satellite receiver on the back of the TV. That's how he started his business, and that was back in fucking like I don't think it was late 80s. I think it was early 90s.
also, these are really nice. These little buttons for your puck control stuff from STV.
They are sweet. Yeah, they
The,
are sweet. They're not
also,
cheap, but they are sweet.
the glue sticks like crazy. Like you better be
Well,
sure
they're
you.
meant for good almost. Like that's the only problem that I have with them. That like you
Yeah,
fucking put them on, the the product will likely die before the glue gives up.
yeah. I had them on an old Apple TV, and it was really like, yeah, get
I know,
off
but
of it.
they're also made for the B&O's IR receivers, which are rectangular. They look like those Pez candy, right?
Yeah.
Which like the cheap shit bubbles. Yeah, see, that's the proper B&O IR flasher. I like.
Yeah, me too. If you ever need an elegant way to stick this on, other than like not do what Eric did with his like electrical tape and just wind it, get one of these.
I do use electrical tape though.
I understand, but if it's anywhere you see where you care about the aesthetics.
I don't use the STB ones because they're expensive to me. I can buy IR flasher covers that work just the same for pennies on a dollar here. So like even though that looks cool, for me it's just too much with all the tax that comes in. Like I love STB, but I only use them in a very very I guess not emergency, but certain situations due to the fact that how much we get raked over with taxes here.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of a thing.
Brandon has that old mount on his old Avant. That's fucking hilarious. So yeah, but that's the fun. That's the fun fact of how they started the company. And now obviously he's at the point where I think that they have some sort of an agreement between him and STB or BNO and STB that they make like BNO could have made the Beo Remote 1 perfect timing, I guess. Beo Remote 1 wall brackets, but they never did. He had a better solution for it, I guess, and that was that. And they offset some of those accessories to him because it just and then they don't have to worry about doing it in such large numbers because they're like you still gotta somewhat justify the amount of production that you would invest, I guess, into a certain product or certain accessory, I guess.
Oh yeah, just for the sheer length of time they've been in the game, I would go for STB.
Oh fuck yeah.
I mean, not only that, you can you can custom order a bunch of shit from them as well if something is not exactly to your liking.
Yeah.
I mean, like the wall brackets, you can go to any color. Like, I don't know, your daughter, girlfriend, or whomever wants it in like bright pink. Just ask them; they'll make it.
I'd like to make it out of wood, like make a walnut variant of it.
You can ask them.
And what I would do, I would probably offset it just a tiny bit off the wall, because it does mark the wall when you're putting it back on. Because you're never like that remote cradle should have been covering all the way to the tip of the remote control, because those little points and aluminum points, well, on mine remote they're blunt as fuck by now, but when you first get them, they're like surgical sharp, and it sucks because they, and especially here with our paper ass walls, it just goes right in. So this is a sick stand or a wall bracket for the amount.
Takes guts to make that.
You know what I've used from them a few times was BeoVision 12 articulated mount. If you want to pull that up on his website, if he still even has it on, that is quite something. And it's fucking weightless. The TV is weightless on it. Like you could just pull it out and rotate, and it weighs Zippo. It's insane.
BeoVision 12, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like they have them anymore.
Yeah, so it's gone. But obviously, like that's a TV of an old yesteryears now.
Yeah.
I still like it. I like the picture on it. Fuck.
BeoVision.
But yeah, they've been around. So whatever your, I guess, worry is, don't. Yes, it's gonna cost you for shipping. Depends where you live, I guess. But the product will arrive from them 100%. Like I've never had an issue with anything come broken, bent, busted. I've had that with B&O, but I've never had it with. Yeah, that's the one. That first picture. That's insane. Design.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, STB is one of the few companies where they actually dare to hang your 10 grand TV off the wall by like 2 feet.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this one is I've worked with this particular wall bracket mount, and it's just perfect. Absolutely perfect for the TV. And given how heavy that panel is, like you can literally pull it out with a few fingers and it just rolls out. It's pretty sexy.
Yeah, so if you want stands and shit for your B&O stuff, and you don't want to pay or get the B&O, or the B&O ones don't work, go to STB. Quite honestly,
that's the only place to go essentially, because there's nobody else that makes it. And if you're gonna make it somewhere on your lap, in your buddy's shop, there's no fucking way that it'll ever look as good or the quality that you can match. Like I guarantee you will not. So it also depends. So I don't know. I vouch for him. I've worked with him. Actually, speaking of which, I might order me a few wall brackets for the remote, because I'm gonna order a couple more remotes for myself.
Speaking of remotes, I ordered some Essence remotes finally.
Did you?
Yeah.
How many?
2. One for at the front door, so I can go like, I'm out, goodbye. And it's also quite handy for the evenings. That
you gonna put one in the kitchen as well?
So yes, that's the other place. Or I was going to make my own BeoSound 5 with it, with an iPad.
Drill it right into the display.
Super glue.
Super glue. Oh God. Over a home button so you can never get out.
My iPad doesn't have a home button.
Over a camera lens, then.
Yeah, I don't use the camera anyway.
So you can face unlock it anymore.
That's, by the way, one thing that was really bizarre. I only noticed that in editing. When I did my BeoLit 20 review, I showed the Qi charger, right? Yeah. By laying my phone on top of it. and my face recognition unlocking thing is turned off, but the camera is still flashing when you pick it up. You still see that infrared going, the pulsing that you don't see with the human eye, but you see it with the camera. It's like, wait, that's supposed to be off.
It still does it, dude.
Yeah. It's Apple. Why are you taking pictures of people in the bathroom?
Are you gonna take fucking electrical tape and put it over top of your lenses?
No, I'm gonna desolder it.
Desolder it. The electrical tape is a much cheaper solution.
Yeah, I know. No, just take a picture of you to the bathroom and
Oh god, it's insane. It's insane where the tech is now, and I don't like the fact that the phones are unibody because you never know if they're ever off and what's listening and how much it's listening. But I'm sure all of it is always listening, so I'm just over it.
Everything is always listening.
That's right.
You people in chat, you're always listening.
The only one that's never listening is the spouse. It usually happens. Because they don't want to be listening.
I'm not so sure.
Sometimes you just purposely miss.
She's been getting quite the opinion about other sound systems.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Most of the others are kind of shit. It turns out.
She's right.
I mean, it's bearable, but
it's funny, hey, when you go, and I'm not like, I don't critique people for owning different things, but I just don't like listening to it. And fuck, I guess now that I really think about it, I don't really know anybody that doesn't have B&O at all.
I do.
Like, I have, in my circle of friends, there's nobody that doesn't own Bang & Olufsen something, speakers, TV. If I hang out, like if I go to Ray's for a cigar, he's got a 9000 with the 5s that he bought from me for a man cave, so we sit there listening to that shit. If we go, he's got B&O in Kelowna. If I go to Vancouver, I got friends there that if I stay there, they have B&O because I sold them B&O.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks, bud.
I shall pay my internet bill soon.
Fucking watch next Sunday, like crap out for 20 minutes. Boom! What? Be FaceTiming one another on Skype. But yeah, I don't like. My mom's house is gonna be fully done in B&O again. Not like now, but again, because she had it done before. But this time, I think there's gonna be a few differences because I am going to put a 3500 in her bathroom. I'm saving one here, and then I have the 8000s for her TV in the bed in the living room. I'm thinking of there's a dude that's selling set of Lab 4s, and I have a set of Lab 4s, but he's got these fucking assholian floor stands from B&O. Remember those stupid floor stands for the Lab 4s?
Yeah.
That the with the silver loom that was going down, it was just awful. Awful. I don't know what David Lewis was thinking. God damn it. Anyways, so he's got that, and I figured that I might buy those with the stands from him for my mom's surround key speakers. Just to like have her house set up. What you digging on Google's there?
I'm trying to get up the thread of what I saw somebody else do on the forum that is basically what I thought of doing with one of the whatchamacallit? With one of the Essence remotes. Because
did you get both wall bracket ones, or did you get a table as well?
I get both brackets for both.
No, like table one or wall bracket.
Yeah, you can. You can.
The table one doesn't have a logo on the center. Because
then I actually don't know. I didn't inquire about that.
Yeah, the center. This is a wall bracket one with the logo on the inside of the Essence remote. So how the fuck does that work? He literally glued it on top, hey?
Yeah, or he made a bit of a metal and just bent it round.
Weird.
But it's excellent. if it's solid enough that you can push all the buttons without stuff bending, then hell yeah, I want to have something like this hang over there on the wall. I'll figure a way of getting it easily off and on
Do you
the
have more
walls.
pictures of it? Or that's it?
Where is it? Maybe it's in the previous thread. But it's basically, yeah, like DJ Neo says, BeoSound 5 for 2021. And I love that. I still love the BeoSound 5 design way more than... wait, where was I?
I got 2 of them. Well, 3, but 1 doesn't have a neck, so it can't be attached. So I wonder if I can ever find a neck for it. 'Cause I don't know if B&O has it. That was the old BeoSound 8 remote. That thing was surprising when I first time opened it. When a client came in with dead batteries, I come in there like a hero with fucking 2 AAAs. And that thing takes quadruple A batteries.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know they made those before. Interesting. I wonder what he's using for a floor stand, or what was the floor stand that he used it for? From
Probably a table stand for BeoLab 3.
No, it's too thick of a base. It's too thick of a base of a Lab 3. I don't know, but that looks cool though. I would hide the core away, but I understand he's making a point that that's what it's connected to.
Yeah. Tigris asks, could you explain in layman's terms how and what an Essence does? So there's 2 things: an Essence remote and the actual like Essence box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Essence remote is just a Bluetooth interface with volume, source selection, and P plus, P minus.
But also light commands, because you can tie it in. But it's only, unfortunately, the light commands only come out in the IR mode. You can also set it only for TV. You can also set it only for the music system, IR-wise, and also it can be connected to whatever Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.
That's about it. But yeah, it's I used to have it on both of my walls, like where the 9000 is now. It used to be right above it. So I could turn them 90s. That's when the 90s were fresh and new, and I was fucking juicing the hell out of them. So if I needed to turn down stuff, I could just like reach over and go and not look for remote control. But now those remotes, I actually had one above my bathtub as well. I glued it on the tiles, but I moved on from that because then the Bluetooth was full of, not even that the Bluetooth worked, but then the light control command started working on the BeoSound 1, so I started just walking around. Like if I had a bath, I'd just bring the BeoRemote 1, because then I can do light commands as well, which didn't work before, so I just control shit with the phone.
But this looks excellent to me. I would probably go with the black iPad, but like that's like, what are we fussing about? But the idea is bloody well perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And because this is, to me, a much easier way to browse for your music and volume and whatnot than through your phone and then the remote next to it, or the B&O app is so with Deezer. It's okay, but like the Deezer app works better by itself.
So to go back to Tigris, to you for a second, does it make things like Overture wireless? No, it does not. Unless you buy the Essence. But at that point, why don't you just get a core, and then you have all the modern platform streaming services available? Because the Essence essentially was stuck in AirPlay, Spotify Connect, and DLNA. So unless you want to use your Windows and right-click on your files and play music that way, which is, to me, ass backwards, then go ahead. But I would just connect an Essence, a core into your Overture and have an Essence remote that you can control it with, because then you could trigger. You'd still have to aux in, so there's no way for you to press aux. Like if you have the Essence in the Bluetooth mode, then it just strictly talks to fucking core. I don't remember. I have it somewhere in the files, and I don't want to look for it at this moment. But I don't think there is a possibility to do a double, the IR and Bluetooth commands in the same time. I don't remember, so don't quote me on it. Or it was able at some point. I don't remember exactly, but if you do that, then if you only press play once, it'll turn on the radio. If you let's press and hold the play button, it'll turn on the CD. That's a long press. Same thing for the standby. You press once, it will more or less stop the music, or press stop. And if you press and hold, it'll standby. And it basically, that's an all standby. So once a Masterlink product or any network link product sees that command go down, your whole house will turn on.
So Tigger says, how does the Essence remote connect to the tablet like that?
Bluetooth.
On the screen?
It's not. I don't think that.
But
it's not connected to the tablet. It's connected to the core.
Yeah. So you type in whatever you want for terms of music, and instead of if you use AirPlay, instead of going like the small up or down.
But hang on a second. He can be using the fucking B&O app for all that is there, right? So then you can control the volume from the iPad, but that's just a cool factor to have that volume and, back and forth for tracks. But this is, to me, it almost looks like it's a tune-in window from the B&O app. Because if you look at the bottom, and he might have the network link turned off on the app, so then you don't have all that music share and all that shit, all the icons that you get otherwise.
Yeah, maybe.
But either way, whichever way he's browsing the music, the screen interface is just for browsing the content, and then you control the volume, skip tracks, turn on and off the system with a little Essence remote super glued to the side of it.
I mean, one thing on the new iPad mini, which is possibly a good contender for something like this, is the fingerprint reader is on the power button.
Yeah.
And so you don't have this thumb button on the front anymore. Because if it's on the power button, right, you can flip this
the other way,
and then it's all neat. But also you can hide the power plug that normally would go in there underneath the Essence remote.
Yeah.
So even when you hang it on the wall, you would never see that wire.
Fuck, at that point, I would probably 3D print a chassis for it so it just looks cool,
Yeah, well, first things first. I don't have a 3D printer just yet. but indeed, it would be cool, yes.
Yeah, they can be used on both. Generic enthusiasts can the Essence stable version can be removed from the stand and put on the wall. Yes, they're exactly the same, man. The only difference is between them that the Essence remote that is on the wall bracket does not have the logo on it, you see? The other ones do. Because the logo is on the plate. But this one is the one with the fucked up bearing, so like to crank the volume or down or up on that, you need a freaking pipe wrench. First generation of them, of course. They had an issue with the delamination of the lubricating ring or lubricant ring or whatever the heck it was, and it just like gets wedged into the bearings, and then it's impossible to control.
So yeah, that's something, a little project I would definitely do, because I think that, to me anyway, would also be infinitely more useful than my BeoSound 9000 at the moment.
What?
Having the BeoSound Apple Sound 5 Mark Essence or whatever the fuck you call it.
I wish that B&O did something like not so crazy dumb like Moment was, because Moment was cool, but they kind of effed it up with the whole goddamn, pulling the rug from underneath the pattern play and so on and so forth. I'm not gonna chafe on that anymore, but I think still to this day that there is a need for a human being to interface with a music system, and not everybody's happy to give away the phone, or even if you have your tablets in the house, man, you have shit coming to them like emails, notifications, and such. Like, you don't want people at the party now knowing that your Amazon crap is coming in, right? Like, because a lot of people do that. Like, I've had people that I set up for BeoLink Gateway, and the first fucking thing they did, they logged everything into that wall iPad. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck do you need a notification out of this coming out telling you have an email when it bings on your phone? This is a utility device now. Forget it. It's not an iPad anymore. It's a fucking wall panel. Put the Gateway app on it. Don't change stuff.
That's exactly what I would do. Like, I buy that iPad, make a new user account, not have any of the email attached to it, because why the fuck would you need that on the wall?
Mark, I use my Moment every day. It still is the main driver system in my house for music. I have retired it now to the office because I bought a juicer and it's fucking messy. So I don't want shit all over my Moment when it used to be in the kitchen. But that's not the reason why I moved it. I moved it there because I pulled a V1 from here and put it in the kitchen because I have way more utility out of the television there than I ever had here. And this basically is just a little bit of a Lego room slash storage for all the P&O and overstock type of thing. And
by the way, I heard that if your Moment is still in warranty and you're annoyed that the inner ring isn't working, they possibly give you a core and a halo.
And what are they gonna do with that freaking
in a ring? Nothing. They can't.
There's very few people that this is in the warranty with, which is kind of sad that I'm hearing about it now, which I'm sure that they had brought this up fucking like 2 weeks ago, and I've been out of warranty for a year now, and so was the ring. That hasn't worked for a long time, so I'm kind of chafed that they would do it now.
You can always
for your Halo and stuff, but
you can always give them a call, see what they say.
Who am I gonna call? Ghostbusters, for God's sakes! Like, who am I gonna call in Denmark, for fuck's sakes?
No, the help desk, because apparently they updated their standard line of, oh no, somebody's working on it. So like, yeah, we're not working on that anymore.
Well, at least they're straight up about it. Somebody grew balls. Good for you, whoever you are.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure what the whole deal is with it, but go and find out if you still have one and you're annoyed by it. Because they probably also take it as a sign of like people aren't too chafed about it if not everybody that has one calls. So yeah, I would definitely call if you have one and like, dude, what the fuck?
And you know what? The sad part about that ring is that we actually used it a lot. Like, when I had people over, like, I've used it a lot. And you actually find a lot of nice and fun music, or new music rather, from it, because it just takes you, like, depends on what part of the ring you touch. With the inner ring, it's only your music that doesn't work. So you can still find some fucked up wild cards, right? When you tap outside or the third one.
Mm.
But yeah, they kind of took away from it now. But I use my Moment in a very specific way, I guess, that I don't really have a necessity for that stupid ring anymore. And more or less because I had moved it to the office, so it's just it's a product that, services BeoLab ones, which usually get playback time very little, very little. Actually, I would say these are the least used speakers in my entire apartment.
Yeah, Anders Selstrom says my dealer has switched many Moments for cores to customers. It's kind of sad because in terms of the product you hold and that sort of thing, the Moment is nice. It was ambitious and a bit crap,
yeah.
But it's I don't know, one of those things where like if this inner ring didn't go out, it wouldn't have been so bad. But now that you actively start losing functionality, it's sort of like, this is an expensive brick of shit.
It is. It's beautiful, but I don't think that there is a way to fix the inner circle because they had licensing that they had paid for it, and they basically it expired, and with that went that service.
Yeah, no, it's a license because it's a sort of algorithm of choosing music automatically, right? Where
Yes.
certain types of music get certain types of colors and or what you call it, sensations added to them somehow.
Well,
Like,
they had 100 different categories essentially that that ring was broken down to per se. So like if you like we used to do is you just put your finger on a, let's say, inner outer ring or whatever, and then if you drag your finger down that circle, it'll start changing different artists, and also it starts changing the genres on the fly.
mhm.
And it worked light years better than mods will ever work because that algorithm is just it's I find it absolutely weird. But that was the first attempt.
Yeah, I mean,
That was the first attempt to make something out of nothing, essentially, because that was before the streaming services even became popular, right? Like Spotify has been around. It was one of the first services, I guess. Like if you don't call Napster, Napster's still around, which is fucking weird because like I didn't even know it was around. But I opened my Audi app and there's a you can pair your Napster into your car. Like, who the fuck is using Napster still?
I don't know, somebody in like Hollywood or something has too much money and they poured a few million in it.
Wow, like I was shocked a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, like the BeoSound 5 came out when, like, let's go back a little bit. When BeoLink PC, which was basically a Masterlink active kit box size device that would connect into your computer via USB and your Beo player, then you would be able to control or control your music essentially. But what that did, that you could call up net music from another room, and and you can actually, if your PC is on and BeoPlayer app was running in the background, you can just turn on the net music or net radio, and it fucking fired up the internet radio from the computer through the master link back in 2001.
Yeah.
So further down the road they went, then the first smart TV that ever came out was BeoVision 9, because that was the first television that had a BeoMedia 1 system built into it, which had internet radio now in 2008 or 9 when the TV came out, which is insane if you think about it. Like, we take all this shit for granted, but like these guys were so far ahead of it.
Google Maps was barely a thing at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
still
now,
remember
like,
Google Earth being a totally separate program, not in browser. This was
oh yeah,
like,
it was an installation fucking like few gigs, right, of images,
yeah,
I guess they would just dump into your computer so you can look at the Earth. Now it's all online. But yeah, like it's insanity, like how much, and then the BeoSound 5 came out, which was still a retrofittable product into the BeoVision 9, so you can swap the old BeoMedia for a BeoMaster 5 and have the BeoSound 5 connected to your television. And now you have album art also on the TV screen. Like, fucking cool. And then they came up with the BeoSix, which now allowed you to browse your media from a remote control and pick it by artist, whatever, in any room you are, and it'll play to that room or whatnot. And then I guess then the Spotify got added. That was when the streaming services were finally
yeah, when
adopted by
Spotify
B&O.
was still cool.
Yeah, and that was cool. Like, I had the Spotify back in,
Yeah, didn't
I don't know,
everybody
whatever year it
though?
was.
Because they were. This
Well,
seems
I
to
had it
be.
because it was on the BeoSound 5, and I had the BeoSound 5, so it just made total fucking sense to do it.
Yeah, but this seems to be the tech upstart, right? Way of doing things. Like, we're cool with everybody. Do whatever you want. It's fine. Have 10 people on the same account and pay for one. It's fine. Don't care. And then they hit critical mass, and then it's like, no, we're not doing that
Yeah.
anymore.
Shit, we're losing a lot of goddamn money doing this. So greed
Well,
always wins, I guess.
I think that's actually kind of the tactic, to lose money to get to critical mass in the hope
That's
you
right.
recuperate it.
I
Because
still remember leaving Spotify when I was so mad because fucking Deezer. What is Deezer now? And then the Avant came out, So I had the Deezer account. I made it, right? Because I was in the store. So I made the Deezer account. And I'm like, fuck. Well, it's actually, you know what, at the end, that's not that bad. It's maybe 3, 4 long shits, and you migrate your library, right? Because that's what you're gonna do. So I I moved. I literally moved because I was pushed by BNO basically to move from Spotify, and quite honestly, I'm not going to support a company that does not allow me to multi-room into my devices, right? Like that's what was the last straw that broke the camel's back when it came to Spotify.
Yeah. Quick pullback. Audio Music Channel says, how come your BeoLit 20 has Bluetooth 4.2 instead of 5.0? It's not mine. They're all like that. Why? I don't exactly know. I don't fully understand B&O's decision on that, other than with the BeoLit 20, you keep the ability to keep on stereo pairing it with BeoLit 17s. And
Oh, you can actually pair them backwards or down?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you have different Bluetooth standards, that obviously stops working.
Yep. A, B, to me that project should have been, or product should have been already discoed a long time ago. I don't know how much it sells. I don't think it sells that well. Uh, comparatively to like a level, I would rather have a level than a BeoLit 20 or whatnot. Like this product has been around for 20 years or 20 years, since
Pretty
2012.
much 20 years, yeah.
No, it's the BeoLit has been around 8 years, 9 years now.
Yeah, next year's 10 years.
Yeah. So I don't know, like there's still, they keep trying to whittle something out of nothing on it, and like to me the wireless charger on a battery powered product makes 0 sense. Uh, I don't know. I think the 2020 should have been a USB-C powered at that point, also. But
Sorry,
that's just my
what
opinion.
should be USB-C powered?
The BeoLit 20, is
It
it?
is.
Is it? Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Every
So
so that's where it's so weird, the divergence. It's a
well, I
sort of,
think they got sick of having that goofy connector being broken on the inside because they give you 7 meters of cord to fucking jam into this thing.
but it's a sort of half-assed upgrade over the BeoLit 17. Because I mean, for a Qi charger to be on top, the battery is kind of too small for it to be functional out in the open, portable.
Yeah.
That's also something I said in the review, and it's, I don't know, it's like if you use it as like a speaker for on your nightstand or something, and it's plugged in all the time, then I totally get it. But it's sort of, I don't know. It's an odd one.
Like I don't know, like for me I would have it in a bathroom, so I guess the use case for it be that if I bring my phone to the bathroom with me or shower, I guess, then you can put your phone on the charger. But I don't bring my phone into the bathroom. I just leave it on the charger when I'm going to fucking shower. Like I don't need I'm not gonna pick up with my wet ass hands and shit when my screen's cracked, get the water in it. So I don't, and I don't care. I'm in a shower. I'm busy. I have a right to be busy for that.
I mean,
Little.
it does sound really, really good. It's, I wouldn't call it accurate because it's not, but it does sound fun. It sounds pleasant. It's
a little party speaker.
It's easy to listen to. There's quite a lot of bass. It's not flat, but that's what makes it kind of fun to listen to. The bass is more than you expect from most B&O.
What I don't like is those side baffles, the passive radiators. They're rectangular, and they're gonna meet the same fate as the baffles or passive radiators did in A2. All of them cracked around the corners, so the speaker just rattles the shit now. It's unlistenable to. And my burger is fucked. I need to get me another burger. It died.
Yeah.
Push it off.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
So there you go.
Also, don't
Before you get copy stricken for your own content.
For my own content, yeah, no.
What's your Bluetooth question? Does BNO ever upgrade the Bluetooth with firmware updates?
No.
I don't think you can do that.
No, you can't do that. Because the biggest change from Bluetooth 4.2 to 5.0 is the energy standards. And this is where I feel the BeoPlay A20 would have had the biggest upgrade, is actually in the Bluetooth standard. Because the 3200 milliamp battery would have lasted about 20% longer with Bluetooth 5.0. Because of because 5.0 or above is so much less power sipping. Like, it's so much more efficient. It's unreal.
I mean, but then it wouldn't be compatible with the 17, I guess, right?
Yes, but that's why it's sort of like a half-hearted upgrade. Like, I don't fully get it why they went this way, other than maybe pump something new out and hope nobody really notices.
But was there any significant change in the hardware as far as the music performance is concerned, or no? I don't think so.
No, they're pretty much identical. Like, the only thing that's slightly different is this lattice frame.
Oh yeah, they no longer have those dots, like the blank dots, right?
Yeah,
that used to be. Okay, and it's different grain, like it just goes.
But in terms of speaker and output, it's exactly the same. I didn't have a BeoPlay 17 to directly compare to. Some people in the comments have said this sounds a bit brighter, and the idea being it's maybe the metal cage that is a bit more airy and less restrictive. I don't know.
To me, it's a product that I have no interest in, to be honest, and not to be like, asshole about it with B&O or whatnot. I just don't like. I don't care for the BeoPlay A20. It's something that if I were to choose stuff from back in the yesteryears of design that came out with the BeoPlay products, I would still pick an A9 over the BeoPlay A20 or the A6. Even I would probably go with the A6 maybe as well, which I detest that product, but it's still better than the 20. I don't know. It's never been my thing. And for me, I can't bring that to a job site because you can't just like, fucking, here's my boombox, bro, right? Like, I don't bring those big Milwaukee things. So, but like if you have a little burger, it's discreet, it's small, just plays, nice, it's cool.
I sort of like the A6, but it's almost not in the BeoPlay realm in that it's static. Like you really can't bring that anywhere. Well, you can,
but it sucks. And also, you can't really move it easily because every time you grab it, it pauses or skips a track or some damn thing.
But if you go to the beach, you wouldn't put this thing in the sand. Like a BeoPlay 20, you had no problem putting in the sand.
Well, dude, what are you going to bring a fucking power cord with you?
No, but
this doesn't have a battery.
I know, but in terms of like the materials used, so it's almost not in the BeoPlay. It's more, I don't know, more Beo radio if that was a thing. It's not portable in any way, other than that you can physically move it, obviously. But that's not what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The BeoPlay A20, I do like it.
I don't. I just don't like it. I don't like even the goofy colors they used to come out with. I just never had a thing for that product. Like, I was blown away by it first time when it came out in 2012, but then the product itself kind of fucked itself over by being unreliable, and then there was network issues, then there was the power connector issues. Like, there was always something that was plaguing it till, like the BeoPlay 15, 17, that's when they kind of got their head straight and leveled. But by then, I think it was too late for that product, in my opinion, because now you have so much more efficient speaker, like if you compare it to level. It's so much more versatile. It's nicer made, in my opinion, like the manufacturing and the whole how the aluminium comes together standard is awesome. So to me, that's just that. Like I find the BeoLit 20 as a girly speaker. You know, I can see that in like a daughter's room because even the colors are all kind of girly and shit. And like and chicks don't really care for sound. It was something that like she has a central spot for her phone to charge onto, right?
Yeah, well,
But I
in
don't.
terms of going to my balcony, since I don't have a level, I do have an A1, and when I had both here, I'd rather take a BeoLit out on the balcony than.
Well, because you're fucking, it's noise as shit where you are.
It's not that bad.
Well, but it's noisier. Like that definitely can drown out more than the A1 ever will. That's just a straight fact.
Yeah. And I must say, in terms of connectivity, Bluetooth 4.2 is more than adequate. Like, you can easily take your phone and walk out the living room here and go into, like, the bathroom or a bedroom, and you're still connected.
I remember how B&O resisted so long for, like, having a Bluetooth speaker and stuff.
I mean, it works fine. To me, like, I used to own a BeoLit 12, and that was fucking horrendous to work with. And you were better off with a literal physical connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I had none of these issues with the BeoLit 20. It was actually...
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, about time as well, if you think about it. You know, almost a decade later. But... yeah, well, the whole Playmaker platform, the whole first try on AirPlay kind of was a dingy attempt because it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And first they came out, you have to use all the Cisco routers, so we use Cisco routers. Then no, you got to use Pack Edge. Fuck off, dude. That's like 17 times more expensive all of a sudden, like, right? And then, you know, we just like I just said, you know what, fuck it. It was in 2012. No, it was still in 2011 when that's when I started working at B&O. But that's when my buddy and installer Chris developed a unique problem, which I also shared with him on a different level. I guess I was more with clients, but he lives on an acreage, so he's got a huge land, not a huge land, but enough that if he would drive his mower the last 6 passes, he would drop out Wi-Fi, right? And he's like, we're not fucking having that. And that's how the whole Ubiquity started with our B&O store, because we looked for something that, like, long range, right? 600 radial meters or
give
feet
one of those
whatever.
Dishes and it literally pointed to the
fucking
corner.
Follows the mower and shit. But no, like that's how we found Ubiquity. We installed it, and yeah, then he could mow his lawn all the way to the end without getting cut off.
Like a
his
5 kilowatt antenna, just for that. Like where you literally fry the birds if they fly in front of it.
Cutting grass in short sleeves.
Yeah. Via Brendan on Twitch. So with the older products, can you service upgrade and sometimes that a chip and software update? Example with 50s or 90s. If they ever wanted to add Mozart to them, do you think that might be possible via an upgrade to the software? No. To the chip?
Absolutely not.
I doubt it. That would be a redesign of the internals.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Also, the Mozart platform would add a BeoSound 50 type of mode, and then you would need a remote or touchpad like with the 28s. Not only would that be... I don't know how you would do that on 90s. Because
You wouldn't be able to. You'd have to replace the top pad where the LED is.
Yeah, and then people like Eric could never see what they're actually turning on.
Hot glue gun the fucking Essence remote on top.
I mean, and with the 50s as well, like, do you put it in the tweeter? Do you put it in the body? Do you want that in the body? Do you want like that level line in the aluminium up front?
Couple rocker switches.
Yeah. So they could Mozart them, but I don't see why they would do that.
No,
like, honestly,
I don't think that there's even a debatable question for them to any, like, when they come out with the product, that is it. There's no further pissing around with it. And I guess the good proof of it is because when they finish pissing around with it, they usually discontinue it because then it works. So No, there's gonna be no upgrades to that, and I'm glad, and I like the fact that they're not upgrading it. And yeah, there may be a BeoLab 90 Mark II, which I think they're already out anyways, because the ScanSpeak just changed the driver standard a little bit. So the new 90s you buy now have different but same speakers essentially inside them. They sound exactly the same, but they're Mark II. Uh,
Well,
the only places you could kind of do the chip repair upgrades and such was in the old B&O, which are not unibodied, like if you think about like the new LG TV that goes on top of the Harmony, there's really nothing to fuck with that. You can, if it dies, you just swap it for a different one, and the chassis still stays.
also the problem with making it a Mark II is that it would have to go through recertification if it's officially a Mark II.
Yes.
So the Mark II 90s you talk about are only to us Mark II, not to B&O.
Of course. But
And
that's the same thing. Like there was a Mark II Lap 5s, which the only thing that changed, they changed from a computer plug standard to a figure eight standard. That was it. They dumped the ground basically, and yeah. And then the other version of them, quote unquote, was when you bought them later on in life. They came with no status light once you turned them off, because European Union got their sliver up their ass with less than 5 watts per hour consumption or some nonsense.
no, it's less than 0.5.
Or 0.5, sorry, yeah. So they went to fucking, you have to shut it down. But then we would go around and I would fix it back in a software, basically skip a version back in a software or firmware upgrade, and then they would work normally like they were designed to.
Yeah, but that's the like 50s and 90s. I part of the reason why I don't see them being Mozart either is because that would the quote unquote slave speakers would become way more powerful than they currently are. Because with the Mozart platforms like the 28s, right, they can function by themselves. Like,
yeah, there is a reason why there's a slave and a master with the 50s and 90s, and it's essentially to offset the board cost into both speakers. That is why, because they would be way more money then if they were both capable of the same. Also, touch back to that old product. Like I had swapped chassis in BeoSystem 3s and that, but like I said, now it's today's product. I'm glad that B&O's going back there with a level, where that's the first module swappable product of its kind that they've made. And everything now is universal voltage, so it doesn't matter where you buy it or where you move it on the planet, unless you have proper wall sockets that feeds to the wall plug. You have mains, leads, and that's it. You're done. You're finished. But
yeah.
Michael's asking, when did B&O stop making passive loudspeakers? That was with
83?
the BeoVox 2. No, that was with the BeoVox 2.2 and 2.1, and that was the last passive speaker that B&O had made.
Wasn't the Penta Mark 1 the last one?
No, there was BeoVox 1s and BeoVox 2s. BeoVox 1s were elliptical passive speakers. Those were from around mid 2000. And then there were the BeoVox 1s and BeoVox 2s in black and white that you could pinch and fucking tilt them out about 30 degrees or whatever, so you can have them come out. And then the last passive/active loudspeaker or in-wall active loudspeakers that they were making, that was the BeoLab 1516 with the amplifier one, which you used passive speakers that were mounted in wall through an amp that self-calibrated itself.
Yeah, but in terms of loose speakers, it was the Penta. Am I wrong? Like as in like freestanding that you.
As in freestanding, those would be, I think,
it was mid 80s, early 80s.
CX100s maybe even. I don't know if they were. Oh, those were probably, yeah. Those were before the Pentas. Pentas would have been the last one, I think.
And were they popular with audiophiles? Some of them sounded excellent. Like I gave John the BeoVox 2400s, and they were quite small boxes, and they were okay when you looked at it, but when you powered them on, they were like actually kind of good. I mean, were they popular with audiophiles? I think most audiophiles have the generic hate for B&O for some reason.
I think that prejudice started off with B&O going to active speakers, because I think before that they would kind of have the audiophile-ish audience to spectate a little, but I think that with them going into our full on environment is how we treat the sound from line level input all the way to the speaker driver.
Plus also
That's when I think that the audiophiles get a little pissy, because then you basically have excluded their ability to intermingle different systems in between the source and the actual output of the speaker.
Plus also with active speakers, your cabinet can be reduced by like 60% or something.
That's right.
So you can have the same amount of power out of 40% the size. And I don't know, that somehow doesn't compute for a lot of people. Like, bigger is better by default.
Yeah, that's why it's always surprising listening to B&O products, because it doesn't make sense how small they are and how powerful they come out.
Show people threes and they think, oh, these are computer speakers or something. You turn them on and it's like, holy fuck.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. Mark asked, is there a new product you two want from B&O? I have one definitely in mind.
Fucking 28.
Sure. No, as in new? As in that's not made yet? Yes. It's based on the Harmony 83. I think that would be a massively great idea.
Though it's much cheaper than the 88.
Yes. Because, I mean, the Harmony 77 is around, like, full price, like, at the start of the year when everything is new, is like 18.5 grand. The Harmony 83 could be around 22 or so. And then, obviously, with the panels coming down, the rest would come down as well. So all B&O really would have to do is make size wings for the 83.
Yeah, just different distance. But you know what? I'm not a biggest fan of the 88. I think it's starting to proportionately drift away from the look it's supposed to intend to look like.
Yes, I get that.
You know what I mean? Like the panels are too long and sleek now.
I think the 77 is about right. I think you can sort of pull it off with an 83 because it's not that much bigger. It sort of splits the difference between an 88 and a 77.
Because that's big. That's a lot. That's a step.
Yeah, but with the C1 83-inch panel, that is like 7 grand now here. Like, holy hell, that's what I paid for a 77-inch panel when I bought mine. I mean, that the 83... And those 5 inches, you do notice, ladies.
Well, it's a fucking huge increase to the screen. I don't know how many percent that is, but it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of screen you gain on it. But yeah, I personally, what I would like from B&O, I would like to have a backlit remote. And what I'm buying is late in the next purchase of mine is the Halo that I'm waiting for to be sent to me. So yeah. Those are the things. I'm not interested in the TVs much because I don't really watch them. And for me, you know, consuming that little bit of YouTube content here and there, it almost makes no sense. Like, I just don't need to venture into a Harmony for, at least in this apartment for now. And
let's do 77, 83. I'm gonna... So it is quite a bit more. 77 by no means is small. But you get a good 8%.
Do you have an 88 versus 77?
No, this is 83 versus 77.
I see that, but put an 88.
Like, that's massive. It's like 30% more area.
Yeah, I'm looking for the side distance. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of panel.
But the problem is that the 88-inch panel is like fucking 30 grand from LG, if not more. Like, that's just too much.
Put it in centimeters.
The
stats. Click on the centimeters.
I don't know if I can do that.
No. Go slow. Scroll down there. Use CM by stats.
Oh, there you go.
There.
I mean, it's nearly 2 meters wide, an 88-inch.
Yeah, 25 centimeters is a lot of difference, dude. That's fucking massive. Put a
For
55 in there, or put a
Americans,
65.
it's like a foot more.
Yeah, put a 65-inch in there.
Versus what?
88.
65. That's objectively tiny.
Wow. That is hilarious. How much difference? 143.
51
194.
centimeters.
That's a half a meter.
Yeah, it's like 2 foot nearly.
That's that's like an NX90 laptop width.
Yeah.
And then some, because that's only half a meter. Wow, that is big. And to me, 65-inch was a dominant TV in here.
Yeah. Well, let's do 65 versus 83. I mean, it's still enormous, but it's...
Well, it's 10 centimeters shorter, 11 centimeters shorter almost.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it. If nothing else, like, a lot of people want as big as possible, right? And I don't discourage that. But when you have a price that is including install and whatnot, you end up at over 40 grand for your TV, where you can have 5 inches less for probably half. It's like, B&O, this is a no-brainer. Please make wings for an 83-inch.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that's luring after the biggest possible... I mean, the jump from 77 to 83 is not enormous.
But it's enough to brag about.
Yeah. And I actually... I mean, if prices keep going this way, I would actually buy that.
What?
I would buy an 83-inch panel.
Trade that one in.
Yeah, or hang it in the bedroom. Like, have this massive thing in the bedroom.
Jesus Christ.
And just a stage below it.
Stage would be good. That's a badass screen, though. That's too much.
I mean, I don't know what I would do with the 55-inch, but surely somebody would buy it.
Oh, yeah, you could get rid of that in a heartbeat, in my opinion. You wouldn't get the money you paid for it, of course. No way, but you could get rid of this shit, for sure.
Yeah, Mark says, I would love a Be a Remote 1 with a touchscreen. I'm not so sure I want a touchscreen. I would want lit-up buttons more so than anything else.
No, I want to become famous? Buy flowers, primes, and viewing bin files.
Go away.
Bye. Sell your flowers somewhere else.
No, the 83-inch is what I would want to see, especially B&O make, because, I mean, the stand can take it. Why not? It's just them making the panels the correct size, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I mean, you really think it's not much effort, and this panel has been out for like 6 months now. Unless they have some sort of, a contract with LG where that size is not mentioned for some reason. I don't know, but I would like to see that, because I think you get a lot more people that want massive but don't want to spend 40 grand on the TV.
Yeah.
And that's not actually even B&O's fault, because it's LG's fault that that panel is so massive. Because it's
so expensive, because I guess the manufacturing process. But yeah, Brendan, good point. Like, what about the bespoke? If you could order it,
I'm not opposed to it, but I don't see why it needs to be bespoke.
No, neither do I.
Because it's a common size.
I think they would sell more of those than they would ever sell of 88s, just because of the price differentiation.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I'm sure bespoke could do it, but B&O, if you're listening, please just make the wings for an 83-inch.
Yeah.
Because why the hell not? Like, why not have a step between 18 grand and 40 grand? Like, holy hell. And the fun thing is, like, people think B&O's expensive, but with the 88-inch Harmony, right, the expensive bit is LG, not B&O. Because, like I keep on saying, the LG bit is 30 grand and the B&O bit is like 10 and a bit.
Yeah, walnut and aluminium. I agree. They should have that combination. I had no idea why they don't do it. No idea why they won't do it.
Michael's Fairland says he sits 2.5 meters away from his 65 need to 77. If B&O comes through with an 83, you can buy my 77.
Right on.
We can make a deal on that.
That's funny.
But yeah, a backlit version of this. Make it
Absolute
Qi
must.
chargeable. Who cares? Like, I'll charge it every so often.
But if they made a Qi charger, then they would have to have a little bit of a plastic back, because I don't think that there's enough plastic that you can put a charger on the tip of that little triangle where the IR emitters are.
Does it matter though? Because when you sit, it sits like this space is not touching anything anyway.
No, I understand that, but will the magnetic field go through? Like, will the magnets penetrate
Well, it
through
depends
the
on
aluminium?
if it's a bit thinner, then yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but how thin can you get with a thin before you drop the remote and it's fucked? You know what I'm saying?
I have a feeling Qi charger will go through at least 1.5 millimeters of aluminium. Generic Enthusiast says, what about a BeoLab 17 replacement? Yes, that would be lovely as well.
Fuck, I'm gonna try this, dude.
What?
The Qi charger. I'm gonna do this. I have a plate from what's it called? Actually, fuck it. Use a coaster. I have a Qi charger right on my desktop here. Hang on a second. This is like at least 4 millimeters. Oh, it does not like having metal on it. Put it back. Yeah, it goes nuts. It doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Fuck, what else do I got? I got so much aluminium here, nothing is usable though, god damn it. Fuck. Do I have anything in here? I know I have a plate for the BV9 floor stand not downstairs, but it's in my foyer, and I don't want to run for it now, but
well,
I'm gonna try this out, man. I really do, because I don't believe that there's a way to do it.
If this pop socket wasn't on here, right,
Mm-hmm.
then it would go through the case, through 2 ATM cards, and through my cache and charge no issue. I mean, it's an iPhone, so maybe they tested it better, but
Or they have a bigger charging pad on there. What the fuck can I use? I don't have anything in here. Yeah, I think that the Qi charging should be a standard for everything nowadays, in my opinion. Just like like we've normalized the use of RJ45 and a USB connector. I think the Qi charger should be something that is now equipped on every product.
yeah, and I like that the batteries go almost never, right? Like it's, I don't know, it's a year to a year and a half before you need to change them, but I prefer to have backlit.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even mind how you do it, because I don't mind these buttons, but I also wouldn't be opposed if you guys at B&O tried something else for these buttons. Because these buttons aren't as pleasant to push as like BO4 buttons were. So if you find some other material for the buttons that's easier to light through, go for it. Like, I'm not that hung up on if you were to change this type of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
or polymer or whatever it is.
Matthew's
Really.
asking, what will I use Halo for? It seems a little bit limited in use to you. I can't talk about that, but I'm gonna use it for a lot more in a few weeks than meets the eye. But I also need to change my BeoLiving intelligence.
No,
Or swap
BLGW.
it for my BeoLink gateway that I have now. I gotta put the BeoLiving intelligence in there because there is some super good news coming regarding the Halo remote, and that is why I bought it. I don't know. Well, I have to talk to Chemo because essentially the gateway actually comes from Chemo directly. So I may talk to Chemo and see if they want to sponsor it. Not that I care. I got the money to pay for it, but I want to have my fucking account transferred because I'm a paid subscriber now, and once you buy the unlocked BeoLiving Intelligence, you no longer have to pay monthly to sustain your Google Assistant or voice assistant services and IFTTT and all that jazz to work. So, and there's more and more limitations coming to the BeoLiving Intelligence, so it's time to move on. If you have a master link and you need it, then sick. Like you need BeoLink Gateway. Also, there is a way that
Matthew
you
says,
could
wait,
tie in. You can put the BeoLiving Intelligence on top of the gateway. So if you have your old masterlink infrastructure that you still want to have it talk to, you can still utilize that and forward those macros downstream. But with the BLI, you will be able to use a lot more BNO devices and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so Matthew asked, wait, to be clear, a big update is coming for the BNO on Halo. Yeah, but we've been talking about this for months now. Because BNO said so. Because of the whole Mozart platform tie-in that they promised earlier in the year. They said about Q3, Q4.
Mm-hmm.
We're nearly there.
Yeah.
And stuff is coming that we've firsthand seen, and that's about it. For all the naysayers, like, oh, they're too late and that sort of thing. We've seen it firsthand, some things.
And it is fucking cool, man. I was blown away, and yeah. And I'm one of the... Well, I think... Well, Henrik is a heavy integrator. Like, he has his house pretty much on the same platform that I have mine when it comes to...
Yeah, both of you are kind of nuts that way.
all the googlies and shit. You're in fucking Stone Age, and then Eric would be... He's probably in, like, the brass era, I guess.
He's in the Bronze Age.
In the Bronze Age or whatever the fuck.
Puka. Kill Eric.
So yeah, but we're far out there now. We're in completely new era of automation. I love it. I absolutely love it. I would never give up. I would never give up my lighting. I probably would give up BNO over the lighting control, but I would give up the lighting control over the 90s. Because I fucking like listening to him with the eyes closed, so I don't care for lights anyways. And yeah. So yeah, Digger's got a question.
Brandon has a BeoRemote 1 question. His BeoRemote 1 with the list button on top. It stopped controlling his BV7. I've reset it, reprogrammed it, new batteries, nothing. Any idea? You probably didn't install it or properly then, or
if you press list, what shows? Do you have either BeoVision or something calling it? Then scroll up or down one till you get to the settings, and then scroll down to advanced settings, and then you go products, and then you go show products, and then you scroll down a whole bunch till you, or up. I think up is easier, because down you start going down the BeoVision variants in IR. But if you go up, then you have BNO, BeoAV, or audio or video. And if you check one of those, or if you do AV, then you basically have a remote that does option 2 program on Masterlink. So that is as far as blind can lead a blind in this conversation or a question, sorry, because I can't see what you're doing. But that's how you add different. If you reset the fuck out of it, then you definitely need to do exactly what I just said, and add that room or slash zone onto the remote.
And Tigris's question is, on a Beo Remote 4, how can I get it to select aux setting on an overture?
You do exactly the same process, but instead of products, you go to music sources, then you click OK, and then you scroll down to AUX.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's under list, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't used it in so long, but somehow that's still like...
Yeah, it's everything is in the list. You chose BO4 AV option, and what's happening? Nothing's happening? Did you maybe option program the fuck out of your TV or put it in option 0? Because that could also be another thing, that if you go to the settings, you can actually do option program from the Beo Remote 1. So yeah, that's I guess that should answer your question. But it's really hard to work with people when you can't see what they're doing.
Yeah. That's the hardest part, because you say press X, Y, Z, and they say I've done that, and then once you see them do it, it's like XZ. It's like, you missed a spot.
Yeah.
Mike Hunt. Sorry. I love your name. He seconds it. Make this a lightsaber, for crying out loud. Call it a lightsaber. Backlit.
It doesn't need to be that bright. It just needs to be backlit a little, for the love of Lord. Like,
because
that's it. That's all I have to say. It should be backlit. Like,
it's not just me. It's like me and my girlfriend at night, especially when there's low light or watching a movie. It's like, where is shit?
Yeah. Plus, you're wearing glasses too, so when you take those off, it even gets more difficult, right?
Yeah.
So, I should wear glasses, but I'm not fucking doing it yet. Till I'm gonna start walking into walls. That's my motto.
Wait, but you already drove into like an ice bank like a little old lady and tore the corner of your car off.
That was at 120 kilometers an hour merging, bro. That wasn't fucking like something to focus on. That was a split second. I'm glad that I saved it. I literally missed like 7 G's worth of fucking shit, like pumps or the whole windshield thing. Like, they couldn't believe that how it tore off and I dodged it. I'm like, the last day of 2020. But, karma's middle finger.
Yeah, but in terms of products, for myself, I would still like some 28s. I mean, and in other little things, like I said, I ordered some Essence remotes. I would also like the aluminium cover for the 50s. The Mercedes grill.
Yeah.
Because I just think these are bloody brilliant.
They are beautiful. I don't think that they would need to put the button to light up the remote at the back. Like, I don't think that there's really a necessary. I think what they should do, which, if they come out with a Mark II remote control per se for that reason, keep the same shape, whatever. Put a ambient light sensor, which these things are so small, and I know they are so small because I've seen them on the Eclipse. Like, that's barely a noticeable chip now. You put that on you hide it somewhere in that black display, and put a gyro sensor inside that board as well. So if it gets picked up in the dark, it lights up the display. If it gets picked up during the day, don't do that. You know what I mean? That to me would make the most sense for battery management and usability of it, because then it doesn't turn on all the time. So you prolong the life of the battery. And it's freaking cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, in terms of what I personally want from B&O, it's not actually that much. It's like a bunch of little shit. Like I said, I could go for an 83-inch Harmony, because...
a little shit.
Well, comparatively, like, I'm still amazed at how much that price of those panels have come down.
Why? Why
Because,
did it come down? Just the manufacturing got more efficient? They
yes.
refined it again?
So, like I said earlier, like when I bought my 77-inch panel, that panel started off at $7,000. The 83 this year for a brand new one started off at $7,500 for 83 inches.
Oh shit.
And that'll, as well, like B&O said, they'll follow the recommended LG sales price, right? So by the time it's January or something, that panel is like $4,500. You just need the wings to match.
That's all you need.
Yeah. I mean, I would like B&O to make 17 replacements, but most likely they're already on that, because I don't think they're so arrogant that they can think, oh no, the 18s are perfect entry speakers at like €6,500.
Well, the problem with the 18s is the fact that, yes, like you got yourself a set of speakers that sound okay. They look nicer than they sound, in my opinion. But then you still have to incur an expense of at least 1,000 or whatever euros it is for the Goofy, or 700 euros for the core.
Yeah.
And then you just fucking remote control the damn thing like a doofus. Or do you get a remote control? And then what? Do you get a Halo? Because then you can actually browse something, right, as content is concerned.
Yeah. Or are you okay
That's
with doing it on your phone?
$1,000. Yeah. Or you're gonna get you want to slap a freaking Essence remote on a wall somewhere. Like it adds up, and I think that I don't know if the 17s didn't sell because the way that they looked. I think more or less that's the reason why they didn't sell. They sounded exquisite for what they were. Very, very capable.
Another set in black with black floor stands the other day, and I was like, ooh, I could really go for a set of those extra. But like, where am I putting this? At this point, like, I don't know what to do with it. Also, on floor stands, it looks so great, but like, where would I put even that? Like, the floor stand of the 17s are a lot lower than the 3s, and the 3 over there barely pops over the couch.
Yeah.
So I would have to make a little stand for it to sit over.
Take some Megan's books and shit.
Yeah.
Sweetheart, I need these binders. Are you working on those? No, cool.
Michael Virulent asked, noticeable difference, sound difference between the Eclipse and Harmony, TVs only. Yes, Harmony is way better.
By a long shot, dude. You can't even compare those, in my opinion,
the
anymore.
Eclipse is good, but as soon as you get a lot of bass and or effects, because it's so light and there is so little room for the woofers to move, the whole chassis starts a bit vibrating.
It starts to run away from itself a little.
Yes. So if it has a sub or any more capable speaker attached to it with bass redirection, it's not an issue. But the Harmony has 2 4-inch drivers on the bottom that are a lot longer throw with way bigger cabinets.
Is it 2 only, or was it 4?
No, it's 2.
Okay.
So you have a 4-inch driver on the front, tweeter, and then 2 mid-range drivers, and then 2 4-inch drivers on the bottom, pointing downward. I can take a picture of them. They're like underneath the wings, if you will. They're in the like mechanical bit of the chassis.
Yeah, where the pistons are, I guess. Or
yeah.
The
and those
actuators.
That makes that TV so much more bass capable because there's no interference, there's no back pressure you really run into. Whereas the Eclipse could do with a bass player like a 19 or something, the Harmony really doesn't mind if it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
For that same reason, I didn't hang my Harmony on the wall because I was actually afraid of so much bass being transmitted directly into the wall.
Yeah.
Also, these walls, like, if I knock on these walls, like, they carry the whole fucking building. That's why.
Yeah, the rebar and all that stuff, it does carry the vibration, no matter. You can't escape from it, dude. There's no way. There's just no way.
But the harmony really is quite potent on its by itself. A lot more. Like, I think I even said it at the time with the review. Like, the Eclipse was the best sounding TV by far.
Till then.
And then B&O decided, well, fuck it, we're gonna make a better one.
But they've always beaten their old TVs, though. Like, always. Every TV sounded better.
Yes.
Arguably, like, you can't really say that about the BeoVision 10. BeoVision 10, even though they had subwoofers and all that jazz, like, it didn't sound as good as the BeoVision 7. And I can't really talk about
Space
BeoVision
again.
9 because that was just center channel.
Space again. Like, there's no space in the BV10.
Yeah.
Brendan says, I think the stage sounds better than the harmony. Yeah, but the stage is not a TV.
Yeah.
Also, the stage is quite a different animal. And the stage doesn't allow you to attach anything else to it. So if you want purely the TV and nothing else, then I don't see why you would buy a BeoVision to begin with. A new one. Then, I mean, if you want just a picture and good sound and nothing else, no left, right speakers, no surround, no nothing, buy a stage. That's hand down the best bang for the buck. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you get with a BeoVision is so much more than just a picture and some sound.
Well, you get everything.
Yes.
You get control module, then you can integrate your lighting system with it, control the lighting system through the TV. You can do fucking anything, dude. Anything you desire. And if you're a good coder, you can tie your fucking sprinkler, lawn mower, whatever shit to it too. Yeah, it's you're limited basically to your own imagination at this point. And the TVs, I think that the benefit they have is that they are integratable into everything. If you have a Control 4 system in the house already that you moved into, and you do have, BeoSystem 4 and up BeoVisions, there's drivers for it, man. Just control it with your shitty Control 4 remote if you wanted to, or put them on the Control 4 app, tie them into the thing. You can't do that with a lot of shit other than, well, IP drivers now. LG obviously plays, like, they all play together now a little bit. But I don't know. I guess jumping back to the automation and my opinion of it, I would never do it cheap. I don't agree with having it done cheap, because the cheap shows. And it shows in macros of how things.
It's almost
work.
not a proposition of money. It's more, you need to do it well, and doing it well usually is more expensive.
Yeah, well, it takes more time.
Yeah,
it takes a lot more time to interview people about their life, right? Because that's another thing that you gotta know what they do and how they do it, which to some people it's a rather intimate conversation, but I guess since the fucking Vax passport, the intimacy of anything is out the fucking window. So, makes it easier, I guess, to program.
Yeah. Ray asked stage versus A9 sounds. I asked for what purpose? Music alone? If we're talking music alone, A9.
By a long shot.
Because it's narrower, not a lot, but the angularity of the sphere, so to say, points the side speakers a bit more wide, so you get more of that percepted stereo separation. Because when I was again in the review sitting away, I think I even showed it in the video. Like, I'm listening, I'm sitting like 6.5, 7 foot, 2 meters away. I point like a foot next to the A9, like that's where left is, and a foot to the right is that's where right is.
Mm-hmm.
And with the stage, it's more sort of like it's there and it's there, because it is a bit more directional. But if you're going to attach it to a TV, then the stage all the way.
By a long shot. With the remote control, man, you can actually control it all. It's a no-brainer.
Tigris says, has anyone ever tried to modify a stage to accept more speakers, or am I being daft? Yes, you're being daft, but no, you're not being daft for that somebody hasn't tried. Steve has tried half of this, as into how to make a stage a center speaker. There's too much latency. It doesn't work properly.
It'll never work properly.
It's also because it's Dolby Atmos and the processing in that and how it drives, because whatever sort of sound preset you make, you end up with a stereo speaker, not with a center speaker.
For the stage?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
So yes, Steve from Sound Heavenly. So yes, yeah. He's tried, and he doesn't like admitting defeat, but on this one he sort of had to.
Yeah, he had to give up on that, and he likes to tinker with these somewhat weird setups and whatnot.
Also, he was very dead set on getting it to work, and
yeah,
we were both like, "Why? Like, why are you so dead set on this?" And it's like, must, and I've always, and I've, and then it was like, yeah, no, it doesn't work.
He ended up eventually burying his head in a face full of disappointment, because it won't work, man. Like, if you have a core, you can disable the network link ability, then it just zeros the latency, so you could actually use it that way, but it's not. I would just say use things that have been designed for the purpose they've been designed for. Like, it's like, if you want to be a redneck in it, go ahead, but it's not going to work, and it's just it's a waste of time now, because somebody already did that.
I mean, I think also with the minimal amount of tinkering, you can't get it below 28 milliseconds of delay, which is quite a lot for the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it lab 5s or what? Like 10, 12 milliseconds delay or something like that?
I don't remember.
It's very little. I think lab 4000 have like 4 milliseconds delay or something like that, because they're straight up active.
Well, they're analog. Yeah, analog crossovers on them, right?
I mean, and that's kind of the why any BeoVision is a great asset to 50s and or 90s, is that the BeoVision does the calculation for the lip sync and all that. I mean, yes, you could technically have an LG panel with 90s attached to them, or Sony or whatever, but a BeoVision does such a better job because it's just auto. Like,
it all works together. It knows what speakers are connected to it. The speakers profiles are made in the TV for them to control them. Like, there's no. I always tell people, if you're gonna start a B&O collection now, start it with the television.
Yeah.
And I've always said that. I've said it since I started working at the B&O store, and specifically when the V1 32 and 40 came out, which was the first that they kind of rolled up before the BV11s, and that was the first eye-opening revelation to me. It's like, holy shit, like, you need to buy a B&O TV if you want to do anything, because now, where is your media? It's always on the screen, so you need somewhere to browse it through, right, or access it. And then you can just add more speakers, and all of a sudden you have a full surround. You don't have to buy receivers and controllers and blah blah, and
just the speakers and cables.
Yeah, and so goes the old song, right? So that's.
I mean, you need two cables that you can cable manage within my pinky. You need a power cord.
That's already too thick. Yeah. Because you can go, like, other than like 5s, I guess, and 90s and 50s, you can use 3 mil power link cords. So left, right, on, off, and that's it. So.
Yeah, it's nice. I keep showing Sandeep's covers, and I'm jelly that
you're fucking selling them to yourself is what you're doing right now.
I've wanted them since the start, quite honestly.
So commit, just get them.
Yeah, but I also want 28, so it's sort of like what you do first, because I'm not bulk buying.
Well, covers are definitely going to be cheaper.
What do they cost? Asking is €3,000
each, or pair?
Pair. covers
Dude,
for
for
50s are
what
always...
they are and how they're made, it's that I agree with it.
Yes. Covers for 50s are always in pairs. So the oak lamellas on the back, they come in 2. And it's 1,600 or 1,800 euro for 2. And obviously you need 2 pair. Same, you need 1 pair. I mean, you could technically go with 3 pair and pimp your 50s out with just aluminium all around.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fuck, that would be expensive.
I mean, is it cheap? No. Is it very good looking? Yes.
It's the same, like if you look at 18s with the walnut lamellas versus like maple ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
The walnuts are almost double the cost, and it's just the wood. But the wood looks stunning to me. That's, full circle, I guess, to even Berluti. Like, if you are into fucking that shit, then you're gonna not judge for how much it costs, because that's not your prerogative to judge with. You're affectionate to something and you want to get it, and it doesn't matter. Same thing for me. Like, I didn't give a fuck how much the money that the 90s cost. I wanted them, and I did everything I could to get them, and I got them.
Yeah, they're a great bit of kit. I would get some 90s eventually. Not where I live right now, but I mean, then the 50s will become rear speakers or something.
Yeah, we'll do it before you move over here, if you're moving.
Yeah, probably. Brendan asked, what kind of wood are on those 50s?
Walnut. Walnut or smoked oak?
I think it's smoked oak.
I think it's smoked oak. Sandeep, I don't know. What is it? If he's in the chat, I don't know.
I don't think he is. I think he's out walking the dog or playing golf, or maybe watching the Ryder Cup, because that's going on.
Oh.
USA versus Europe golfing stuff.
Oh, Christ. That's fucking exciting. I'll go watch paint dry instead.
Yeah, Joachim says 50s as rears, love it. That's how I actually demoed 90s in a place with a BV14 in the middle, 90s and 50s as rears.
Wow.
And it sounded bloody amazing. Like, that was the moment I knew. It's like, God damn it, I have to get back to this someday.
Yeah, dude,
So keep those super chats coming, I need them. I need that.
When I first heard the 90s, I'll never forget it. It's you've never heard sound like that in your life till you hear it. And it's just, that does that? Fuck me. I need that in my life.
Yeah.
It took a bit. Took a lot of hard work to get there. But
I mean, it took me about 6 months to get over the sound of them.
I never did, obviously.
No, well, you bought them, but like, I've actively sort of stopped myself from going to listen to them again, because I'll know I'll be annoyed again. That was when me and Nick, when I drove out to Vancouver, so he can listen to them, right, when they had the traveling pair. Fucked us up. We didn't listen to music all the way home from the car. We just couldn't listen to anything. I was like, let's just fucking sound away and put the windows down a little more. Like, I couldn't deal with music for a while. And then I sat home in front of my lap. Fives were like, I'm sorry guys, but y'all suck. Yeah.
God damn.
I mean, I'm happy with my 50s, don't get me wrong, but it's also the room they're in, and they fit well with the harmony and that sort of shit. So
it works out better in this place than it did in the old one by a long shot.
Yeah, and I mean, with my height speakers that cover some of it, and it's good for what it is. It's actually fairly excellent. I shouldn't be underselling it. It's kind of stupid, but I do still want 90s, yes. But then again, who
Once
doesn't?
they get in your head, they get in. They never leave.
No.
That's the problem with the 90s. So, anyways, I think we've caught up with the fuck up in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm thinking, should I leave it up as is because it's going to be weird? I did record the whole. You know what? I'll figure that out tomorrow or something.
Yeah. For
If,
everybody that's watching now, it doesn't matter. They
no,
already seen the beginning, and we can't
if
really
you
go
were here
back.
from the beginning, thank you very much. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah.
Because, good God, was that a shit show?
Committed crowds.
Yeah.
Very much appreciated.
Thank you all for watching. Also, we have the Skinny Play link. Buy 2 products, get 10% off. Use this link and we get a little kickback, go straight into the channel and our 90s.
Thanks, Joachim.
Thank you, Joachim. You get a dear leader.
You get a dear leader icon. Oh my god, funny times. Well, whoever's not watching tomorrow, have a great week.
Yeah, we'll be on Twitch tomorrow as per usual. We might do YouTube. I don't know yet, or we did it yet last week. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good week. See you tomorrow on Twitch and or YouTube. And we're gonna play that outro and hope my internet holds. And see you in the next one.